Hey, I'm Scott William, your host of the Political Porn Theater. Let's see what else the Democrats have been up to lately. All right, here we have Cat Turd posted this. It says more climate change. Here we have 60-year-old Gloria Lynn Mandrich, climate change activist, mind you, arrested on suspicion of arson near State Park apparently 23.6 miles from Pacific Palisades. Wow. How ironic. And she's not the only one, by the way.
Isn't it crazy how all it took was a bunch of Americans finally being able to communicate with Chinese people who directly live under communism, the thing that America is so afraid of will literally destabilize countries for heading that way. And yet here we are learning about how affordable their cost of living is. How 90% of people in China own the place that they live in. How they don't really have homeless people. They don't have a drug problem. Like, their groceries are affordable. They only have to work one job in order to pay their bills. They were confused about having to pay for an ambulance ride. They literally have universal health care. And as time has gone on, we have literally moved further and further away from communism. And that's because communism is far left. And the more time that has gone on, the more far right our country has gone. Literally further away on the spectrum from the things that would all free us from our everyday life struggles. And it's all because many years ago, our government decided that in order to get us to not want communism, they had to make it seem like it was this big, scary, crazy thing, and to basically shield us from it. And look, we're literally talking to people that live under that type of government, and they're happy. They're happy, and they cannot believe how Americans are letting America run. And they feel sorry for us. That's sad.
Wow, I mean, where do you begin? I think she's on the Red Note because she's fleeing TikTok. And Red Note, according to Serpentsaw on YouTube, who is a South African who lived in China for 4 years. Red Note is like a glamorized version of China. China, obviously, the Chinese Communist government doesn't let you say what's really on your mind because they have social credit scores. If you start dissing the government, basically, you're not going to be able to travel anywhere. You're not. And I saw a video the other day of a woman who was having trouble leaving her neighborhood because her face scan didn't work. They have face scans keep track of you everywhere you go, and they're not going to say anything bad about their country on the camera. And these people are so ignorant. This woman is so ignorant of history and everything that. Oh my gosh, communism has killed more people than almost everybody. Another group I probably can't mention that has killed more, but communism is right behind them.
In the middle of the night, while everyone else was sleeping, politicians in Ohio said, you know what would be a good job? Do you know how we can really help the youth and the students within the state of Ohio? We can get out of our bed in the middle of the night, leave our families behind, tiptoe in, and vote in a new bill. That is exactly what Ohio did yesterday, and they introduced the Don't Say Gay bill. This bill was actually introduced last year in 2020.
I'm sure it's not called that.
23 as the Parents' Bill of Rights.
That's what it is. And the
supporters of this bill, see, what they said is that this bill is there to protect the critical relationship of the parent and the child. As you know who they blamed the lack of that relationship on? Teachers.
Teachers.
Why are teachers being used as a scapegoat?
Because teachers are teaching things other than the 3 R's. They're talking about things that they shouldn't be talking to kids about. They shouldn't be doing any of that. They should be just teaching the basics in order to prepare kids to succeed in life, to get a job. Instead, they're talking about sexuality and it's especially in elementary school. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're even doing that.
I digress.
I mean,
so in this bill, teachers
smart.
Now are required to let parents know if a student has come to them and revealed that they might be part of the LGBTQ plus community. Some say this absolutely should be happening because this is a child who is talking about things within their body that the parents should know about. And other people say, well, the child has come to me in confidence as they are learning, growing, and thinking about their own body. I'm not necessarily giving out advice. I'm just being a sounding board. Now, let's say we go the route with, we should tell.
No, you're giving out advice.
We should tell the parent. We should tell the parent if a conversation like that has happened. I also think there needs to be an amendment in the bill called the Shame on You bill. The Shame on You bill. And then I think teachers.
You mean shame on the teachers for talking about sexuality with their students and having rainbow flags and stuff all over the classroom and things like that, and having pride little parades in their rooms and stuff, and bringing in trannies to gyrate in front of the kids? Yeah, there should be shame, but they don't seem to have any on the Democrat side.
Then get to turn in a parent that did not create that safe environment where their own child felt safer with a teacher than they did with them at home. And I think that should be called the Shame on You bill. Because if your child is going to a teacher
I bet you she's single.
other than you about something so important that we have to have a federal bill on it, then shame on you for not creating the environment the child needed to be able to be honest within the own walls of their home. Have a great night.
Oh, I will, thank you. Tomorrow's inauguration day.
I have a question for you guys because your hypocrisy is just constantly overflowing, so I can't keep up. Explain this to me. Why is it that you guys are so upset and bent out of shape over the fact that Michelle Obama is not attending the upcoming inauguration, but
Michael's not attending? Oh, I'm so upset. No, not really. I could care less. And believe me, nobody on the MAGA side could care less if Michelle or Michael Obama is at the inauguration.
All when Donald Trump, the current sitting president at that time, did not show up or attend Joe Biden's inauguration.
That's because Biden stole the election from him.
Which one is worse? The current president at that time not showing up?
I wouldn't show up either.
The first lady from a few administrations ago.
Oh, she's so smart. So smart.
Republicans. Which is it? Are we too broke? Are we worried about the deficit? Are we worried about the debt ceiling? Are we worried about the United States spending? Are we worried about taking care of our own United States citizens first? Or should we draft up a bill, legislation to buy Greenland?
Yes.
Which fucking is it? Should we cut food stamps for families who can't afford food, even if they're...
Does she have any clue how valuable Greenland is? Not only a strategic military place, but it's also worth trillions of dollars. I watched a mining show a couple of years ago where they were over in Greenland, and because there is some ice receding in spots because climate does change, always. And there's literally rubies just sitting there in the size of rocks, the size of your frickin' baseball. And there's all kinds of stuff there, and they discovered oil off the coast, which rivals what we have here in the United States alone. It would double our supply. It's worth trillions and trillions of dollars. So I mean, yeah, it's so valuable. We have to have it.
They're working full-time because the minimum wage has not caught up to the cost of living, and it never will because of Republicans. Which is it? Y'all are the
It's because the Democrats, they're the ones that spend so much all the time on a bunch of nonsense.
Party of being fiscally conservative, right? But then you're gonna go and sign on the back of Trump saying, yeah, we should buy Greenland. We should do this because he said so. Anything that Trump says, that's the way it is, even though they...
I was going to say she forgot her mental illness nose ring, but sure enough, it's right there. It's just in a different spot.
He sold us this other dream and mission where they were going to get rid of immigrants, but not immigrants who work in tech. Then they'll take the American jobs that y'all say you wanted. Elon Musk calls you stupid.
I would agree with her on that. I'm not happy about that. But, I mean, at least you're bringing people in that actually aren't going to be a burden upon the country. Most of the people that are coming in now are going to be a burden upon the country.
Basically says you'd rather pay for immigrants to work these jobs because he doesn't have time. We don't have the education here, and he'd rather exploit their labor and pay them less.
Well, look what they're learning in education nowadays. They're being taught by literal Antifa members, and they're just being taught a bunch of communism, basically. They're not being taught to succeed.
And pay for Americans to have this job. And y'all still, Trump's not going to back away from Musk. Like, they are buddy. And that's who y'all support? Okay. Got it.
Good, I'm glad you got it. Oh, this woman, holy cow.
I had wondered, heading into this speech, whether he was going to try to give some sort of warning to the country. I did not expect it to be this stark. As you said, he said, tonight there is an oligarchy taking shape in America. Dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people, a tech industrial complex that poses real dangers. He talked about a tide of misinformation and disinformation enabling the abuse of power. He talked about the free press crumbling, which put a shiver down my spine. And then talked about how truth is being sacrificed for lies for the purposes of power and profit. So this is important because he has essentially decided not to brag on the way out about what he did. He did a little of that, but really he's taken this last moment to say, here is what we've got right now, and this is why. This is not just dangerous because it doesn't sound American. It's dangerous because this is what they're doing to you with this oligarchy, with this concentration of power, and with what they're doing to the press and the truth. And that is stark and sober, and like I said, it put a chill down my spine. I think he's correct, and I'm glad he took this time to say it. But this was a love letter to America for an outgoing president who is very worried about what he describes as oligarchy, and he thinks that we as individual citizens are going to have to change the country a lot in order to stop it from this drift that it's on, which he portrayed in very, very ominous terms.
Once again, they're never concerned about George Soros and a lot of the other liberal billionaires that have been funding the Democrats for years and years and years. And about, Zuckerberg helped Biden steal the election for against Trump in 2020. I mean, he put in a bunch of money just to get Democrat votes. So they're not. Soros is funding all these DAs that are letting rapists and murderers go and what have you. It's like, and then they're going after basically innocent. So they're like Daniel Penny, I think his name was. He should have never been charged. I mean, he said even a black woman thanked him basically for saving him from that crazy person on the subway. So, I mean, of course, they went after Trump with a bunch of fake crimes, too. It's crazy. And this woman's crazy. Absolutely. She used to look normal at one point. I saw a picture of her back in the day.
For the last 8 years, we've been speaking out against MAGA and how red hat equals hatred. And now with Los Angeles, Southern California on fire, they're proving it themselves.
Huh?
The ignorance, the lies that they're reading off of X, coming from an incompetent person that they voted for.
Wow.
I don't even know. We don't even have to say anything anymore. They're showing it.
Showing what? I mean, I don't even know where you begin there. Trump warned Gavin Newsom years ago that if they don't start cleaning up the dead plant material and stuff around cities and homes and stuff, it's going to burn. And it always will. So, and he warned them again. He said that on the Joe Rogan show just a couple months ago. He warned them again, and it happened. And look what they've done. They have DEI going on in the fire department. That woman there that knows that she can't carry a man out of a fire, and says, oh, he just put himself in the wrong place. I think I have a video of that. And also they won't fill their reservoirs with water because of a little fish they haven't seen in 10 years that's not even native to there. So they're just crazy. They did this to themselves. And look at the way that Biden treated the people in North Carolina. There's still people dying in tents because they have no shelter because the Biden administration won't help them. Oh, and this was months ago now. There's people dying there yet since that hurricane, I think it was, or tornado, the wall of water in the mountains, took out a bunch of cities and stuff, diverted the rivers, and they still are not being helped.
Can't happen again, and the policies of the liberal administration out there, I believe, have made these fires worse. Do you expect, though, that Congress and Republicans will still help these Americans in need, even if they don't like their local politics in the party?
I expect that there will be strings attached to money that is ultimately approved, and it has to do with being ready the next time, because this was a gross failure this time.
Yeah, you have to put strings attached to the bill because the Democrats aren't responsible to do the right thing. Otherwise, we'll just have the same kind of fires again out in California because they're too stupid to do the right thing.
For Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidate. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity. Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancy. The people of Michigan deserve a transparent and open process. For Democrats,
Yeah, they cheated again in this last election. It was too big to rig on the presidential level. Yet, and he probably got millions of more votes. It says here, 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide deleted. Data analyst finds 221,000 in Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to Biden. 941,000 Trumps deleted. And over here in Wisconsin, we had the late night drop that defeated our Senate candidate, and so that Tammy Baldwin won again. And the Senate race in Arizona was highly suspect as well. So yeah, they cheated again.
You know, he's well, I think he's fading. I said that for a long time, but he's probably still has. I was talking to a friend of mine in New Hampshire yesterday, probably 25 to 30% support. You get a crowded field, he could come out of there, he could win, but he's never going to be president of the United States.
Never.
He's not going to be that. However, I mean, he's still a force in the party, but not as strong as a force.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
He's just worn it out. You think people are just going to get fatigued?
Enough. I
Just
feel
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people, perhaps. But I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do.
Definitely.
But I think she will win. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane, as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels, taking the poison and giving the poison to the children, because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism. I make an analogy, but I don't say he's a Nazi. But
it sounded like you said
I
he's
think
a Nazi.
For most people, it's just fatigue. Yes, I think it's time.
Talking to the guy in the store, of course.
We are fatigued, but we're tired of Democrats and the crazy people out there. Like this one here. I have another video of her as well. Yeah, this. She thought she was so smug. She's a political analyst. Watch
It's
this.
time.
Talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him did he vote, and he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted, and he asked me, you know, why I was getting the champagne, and I said because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, you know, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now.
I'm a political analyst.
She's taking this
I'm telling
election.
you right now.
And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care. I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked home. Bye-bye. So, as you know, Kamala Harris did not win the election. As the numbers stand right now, there were 18 million fewer votes than in 2020. And as
That's because those votes never existed in the first place.
I said all along, you have to have a huge, huge turnout and it goes to the Dems, and we didn't have it. There is one fundamental thing that you cannot account for when you're using data to predict or project the outcome of an election, is you can't factor in the impact of racism or the existence of racism and misogyny.
Oh, the math has shown Donald Trump has no chance.
No chance.
I fucking hate America! I hate it here. I hate everything about this fucking country. And before any of you Oakley wearing rednecks come at me and be like, then fucking leave. I can't. It's expensive. There's rules. There's rules to get into our country. There's rules to get into others. Rules to get into others. There's rules. I can't just fucking leave. And it's expensive. It's expensive to leave too. So unless you want to start, sending me your fucking Bush Light and Virginia Slims money and crowdsource me to get the fuck out of here, I don't want to fucking hear it.
She seems nice, right? I'll bet you she's single.
I am willing to give up my Second Amendment right if it means that it starts saving lives. I said what I said.
He did.
I am willing to give...
He said what he said. It's not going to save lives, you idiot. Only the bad guys and the government are going to have guns then, which puts you at risk, which puts all of us at risk.
Everyone convicted of a felony in New York City has to submit their DNA to the state's crime bank. Now I get it. Now I understand why he's been trying to delay sentencing. Delay. Because he doesn't want to give his DNA. It makes sense now because remember, during his case with E. Jean Carroll, he delayed giving his DNA. Oh my God. It all makes sense now. Something more is coming, and he has been trying to evade, trying to do everything possible. He tried to delay it 4 times. 4 times he appealed this week and went all the way up to the Supreme Court. He is going to have to submit his DNA to the crime bank, and it's going to be checked, cross-checked with all other cases. That is good.
Oh my God. I think it's more likely that he didn't want to risk being sentenced to jail before becoming president, because the Democrats really wanted to do that, but they couldn't do it and risk civil war, basically, which, they're going to lose. Oh, this guy again. What's he up to?
Hey, good morning from South Jersey. It is the 12th of January. I just want to give you some words of encouragement. I see a lot of responses where people are despondent and full of anguish because of what's happening with Donald Trump, and it seems like he's just going to take office and stuff. And I'm telling you,
he is
sharing with you. He is not going to take office. He's going away,
he is.
And soon. So do not give up hope. Hope is the anchor of life. And I shared that my clan, the Dorans from Wexford, Ireland, for centuries their motto has been "Spe ancora vita," meaning hope is the anchor of life. You never ever give up hope. I know it seems dark and everything, but I've always had faith that justice will prevail. And guess what? It is going to prevail. We're going to be okay. He's going away. And I want to get this in before
he's going away to the White House.
People have been so kind in their responses to me. There's been a lot of hate too. I wish I could share a lot of the stuff that's been said to me. But for all the people that are being so kind, if they do pull TikTok, I don't know where I'll go, but I was thinking it's called Blue Sky. I'll go to Blue Sky. I'll go wherever you guys want me to go. If you want to see my blockhead and what I got to say, hear what I have to say, I'm all in, because you make me feel better. Who else am I going to talk to?
Well, I hope we can see him again, because these videos are priceless.
This Wednesday, something good is going to happen. You're going to see. There's the Intelligence Committee is going to have a hearing. He has to be there, Donald Trump, for election interference. What took down Al Capone? Was it that he murdered all these people and he was smuggling alcohol and, breaking laws and stuff? What brought him down in the end? Something very simple. Tax evasion. So with all the shit that Donald Trump has done, his fraud with his businesses and his dealings with the Russians and this, that, and the other, you know what's going to bring him down?
All made up.
Election interference. Because that's no small thing. That's what makes us a democracy, and we are happy to be in a democratic nation, is that you have a say, that you can talk to other people and come to terms on things that are important in life, and that you have a representative.
We are a representative republic, not a democracy. That's a big difference.
Representative that represents you and your feelings, and they're followed through. They're listened to. Changes are made for the positive, for the majority. So do not give up hope. They are going to nail him. He is going down, and it's not just him. It's going to be dozens and dozens of others. He didn't do this alone, right? So you don't think the powers in place have been observing this for years? They have. I'm glad that this has played itself out. It's been a difficult 2 months, but granted, you get to see the truth in people. I have dropped so many friends. They'll never be in my life. Never. Life is too short to have some shit like that, people like that in your life. You have MAGA supporters. I suggest to you just drop them.
Drop them.
Distance is the best thing for you, and find new friends. But
we're all.
So Wednesday is the hearing for the intelligence.
I'm completely fine with that. Stay away from me, because you people are freaking crazy.
This committee on election interference, and the things that he's gone and done in the past. I just want to share this because it's no small thing. The things that he has done that should really firm up why you can't be with him, besides the fact that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, they're pigs, and I don't even want to get into that.
Well, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was a pig, but he's mostly with Democrats. He had Bill Clinton at his island, his pedophile island, 26 times. Hillary was there, too, quite a few times. And there's others. And Bill Gates was there. A lot of Democrats were. So Trump was photographed with Jeffrey Epstein at a party, or, socialite thing. But Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was up to something with young girls there. So yeah, Trump, they didn't have anything on Trump. Actually, there's an article right now on the Gateway Pundit where someone admitted that they tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give up something on Trump, but he didn't have anything on Trump. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Charity fraud, multiple accounts of charity fraud. Can you imagine? You think you're giving money, thinking it's going to go to someplace good, and it just goes in his pocket. And he was found guilty of multiple counts of charity fraud. That in itself is just disgusting. The fake university fraud. He had to pay $25 million back to all the people that believed that they were going to learn something from him. Good luck with that. Learn something from Donald Trump.
This guy's boring me.
Business has multiple business fraud counts found guilty of. He has a CFO in jail. Still, Michael Cohen, that poor guy.
Cohen.
The years that he had to spend in jail.
Poor guy.
Because of Donald Trump.
Years?
Donald Trump has a lawyer.
I don't think he spent hardly any time in jail. He's supposed to be in jail, but he's not. Isn't that odd?
We're in jail now, and others that have lost their license. Rudy Giuliani out there on the streets begging.
He's
who is a
not
Donald
begging.
Trump supporter. I wanted to throw this in.
That's because you Democrats target anybody that tried to tell the truth about the 2020 election and try to destroy them in all means possible, take away their law license and things like that. Even places like YouTube try to shut everybody down, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, so we'll see what happens. All these social media companies try to shut us down from talking about how you stole the election, which you did.
I just saw a clip before, and I can't stand this guy, Ben Shapiro. I wish someone would stick a sock in his mouth, his little speedy talk like he's so fucking righteous and he knows everything.
I'd have to agree with him there.
Someone just knock him the fuck out, right? Oh my God, what an
But no, I'm not. I don't want anybody to commit violence against Ben Shapiro.
asshole. I thought I hated Matt Gaetz. I can't stand him just as much.
Oh, Gates is great. Gates is great.
McConnell, he's so old, I can't get mad about him anymore. Just go die already, you old turtle.
But I don't like McConnell either.
Oh my God, the Republicans. You're such a disgusting group of people. You really are.
Right back at you, big boy.
And then, of course, he stole classified documents with nuclear secrets. This is okay with you?
It's not true.
It's not okay with me. We didn't have hundreds of thousands of servicemen and women serving our country for the past 100 years, decades, supporting our Constitution and our protections to just give it up to this.
I wonder if he put this sad music with his diatribe here, or was that someone else?
This guy. I mean, it's terrible to appease his people over in Russia. Oh my God, he's been found liable for sexual assault, charged with dozens of felonies, and found guilty of 30 more. He's awaiting sentencing. Donald Trump is going away. He's going away.
To the White House.
If you want to find me in the future, if I get pulled from TikTok again, I think I'm going to go to this Blue Sky. I'll try that. If you want to hear my thoughts and see my blockhead again, and to that, let me say this.
Blockhead, all right.
I'm sorry I look like shit.
You always look like shit. Well, I think that's going to do it for this bunch of Democrat whining, crazy, nutcase people. If you can call them that. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of the insanity coming from the left. Bye-bye.
Thank you.